Dear ladies and gentlemen, my name is Gabriel Mahanda from Kenya. I wish to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to this channel, Turning Point Africa. It's a privilege and an honor. So I just want to go through what the channel will be all about. The channel will be all about the experience, the infrastructure development taking place across the continent of Africa, the lifestyle of the people of Africa. So I welcome you and I hope you're going to enjoy this channel. Please remember to subscribe, like and share.
Okay, Gabriel, it is nice to have you here.
Tanya, I would wish to invite you to my channel and also have a conversation to try and give insights in what is really taking place in Kenya and also Africa as a continent.
Thank you very much, Gabriel, for this opportunity. My name is Tanya and I'm so glad that I'm here. So as we see that we are along Ngong Road, I have a couple of questions to ask you to just give a broader view of people watching this video. And the first question I really want to ask you about this road is that when was this road established, and the name and the company that put this mighty infrastructure in place?
Thank you for your question, Tanya. So before I answer your question, kindly allow me to give you a little bit background, the historical background about this road, why it was named Ngong Road. So Ngong Road is a road that connects Nairobi Central Business District to Ngong Town. Ngong Town is just a town that is the farthest end of Nairobi as a county. So that's why the road is called Ngong Road. So Ngong Road has not been in a very good condition as such until around 2015. When the government of Kenya got into partnership with the Japanese government and managed to get a concession loan to be able to do the construction of Ngong Road. Because before it used to be a two-way traffic, but the scope of work now included expanding to a 6-lane dual carriageway, which it is now. Yeah, so the Ngong Road was constructed, as I said, by the JICA, that is Japan International Cooperation Agency, that is JICA, is the company that constructed Ngong Road. So the construction took about 2 years. That was from around 2015 all the way to 2017, where the phase one of the construction ended.
Okay, the official name of the road is Ngong Road, just Ngong Road?
Yeah, Ngong Road is the name
official name of the road.
Yes.
Then the other thing that I want to ask you about is, are there any concerns about the term of contracts, the financing arrangements between the Japanese contractors and the Kenyan authorities, loans, things of a sort?
Okay, thank you for your question. This road was constructed through it was a concession loan that was given to the Kenyan government by the Japanese. So it was a loan that had to be paid for a period of time. Yes, so the construction of this, the concession, I might not know the exact figure, I might not be maybe very much conversant with the exact figure that the government, the Kenya government, but it should but it should be in excess of about 3 billion Kenyan shillings.
Wow.
That was used now to do the expansion of phase one, because we have the phase one and phase two. So phase one starts from where the National Library is, all the way to the Prestige, where we have the Prestige Mall. That is where the phase one starts. Then again later on in 2018, the Kenyan government received a grant from the same government, Japanese government, that was used to do the phase 2 construction of Ngong Road, from the Prestige Mall all the way to where we have an ends at the Junction Mall. Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much for that, because I've always wondered how, regardless of the fact that Kenya is amongst the, the thriving countries, how it came up with all this funding for that construction of that road. The other question, I'm really very eager about, it's all about the apartments I'm seeing along this road. The apartments are really very many, and they look to be quite on the high end. What are the prices? Could you give us just a picture of what are the prices of maybe renting or owning in such a place or along this road?
First of all, we wish to maybe let our viewers know that about 20 years back, Ngong Road never used to have apartments.
Oh.
Yeah, never used to have these high-rise apartments. Used to have, because you find it used to be a neighborhood before that. Because there are some estates which are along this road, like the Hurlimgam.
Oh, Hurlimgam is along this road?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it's part of it is along this road. But part of Hurlimgam is also the road which is called Quebec.
Yeah, I remember.
But part of Ngong Road is part of Hurlimgam, spreads all the way up to where the road is.
Oh.
Then we also have the upperhill. Yeah, before, way back, like 20-30 years ago, you find these places were purely residential areas. Yeah, so right now we have the Upperhill district, which has totally transformed to be a commercial district. It's no longer a residential area. And you can see also Hurlimgam is evolving. It's changing from being the residential areas used to be to now a business area. So currently we still have people who live at Hurlimgam, but at the same time we have business premises and also high-rise residential apartments which are coming up. So we find most of these apartments are being constructed by the Chinese. Yes, we have quite a few that are being constructed by the local contractors.
But Chinese have the biggest number.
Yeah, the huge percentage of those who are developing this high-rise apartment actually the Chinese. So here you find there for those residential apartments we have maybe for 2, 3 or even up to 4 bedrooms. So there are those ones that are out for sale, then those ones that are also out for rental. So you find for sale, for let's say for example for a 2-bedroom, the DSQ ranges from maybe 25 million Kenyan shillings.
Wow.
To about 50 million shillings, depending on the amount of work that is put in.
That is renting or owning?
That is buying. Buying, is owning. Yeah. So for a 2-bedroom, ranges between about 25 million Kenyan shillings to 50 million shillings. Yeah. And for renting, let's say for example renting, you find more, maybe these apartments could go from about 70,000 Kenyan shillings to for maybe a 2-bedroom to about 100,000 Kenyan shillings for renting. Yeah, so it depends with the size of the apartments, the social amenities which are there and all that. So the finishing of the apartment, the size of the apartment, and the amenities which are also available that are being provided also determines the price of the apartment. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that said, I really also want to ask about any international organization, any infrastructure in this place, because I find it that there are a couple of most of the time where there are such high-rise buildings, international organizations don't miss, or added value facilities don't miss. So an example, things of that.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Again, as I said earlier, you find this road passes through Upperhill. On Upperhill, we have international organizations, companies which have set their base, African headquarters around that place. So you find, for example, we have the Coca-Cola company, which is the regional company for Coca-Cola East and South Sahara.
Oh, it is still in Upperhill.
It's still in Upperhill.
Wow.
Headquarters for Coca-Cola headquarters for East and Central Africa is actually here in Upperhill. We have the headquarters for Africa, which is in South Africa, but this one is for Eastern and Central Africa. So it is right here in Upperhill. So you find even the Britam insurance company is also here. Then we also have the international organization find themselves. You find maybe they are just allocated along this road. So we have quite a number of them. We may not be able maybe to name all of them, but there are quite a number of international companies that are situated along this road. Yes.
What about local, not even local, but maybe service providing businesses or service-based businesses, hospitals, things of that sort?
There's also local companies that have set their businesses, especially around Upperhill area. We also have service providers, for example, those who are providing health services. We have here the Nairobi hospital, which is a private-owned hospital. It's one of the highly respected and highly ranked health facility here in Kenya, and also serves regional. It serves also within the East African region. So it's a very well. It's a good hospital when it comes to service provision. Then, other than Nairobi Hospital, we also have the Kenyatta National Hospital, which is
it's also on the same route.
Yes, which is owned by the government. It's a national referral hospital, which is one of the biggest referral hospitals in East Africa. Then, other than that, we have another private hospital, which is the Coptic Hospital. Then we also have we have quite a number of hospitals along this road, both public and private hospitals.
Then the other question, what are your views when it comes to contracts, especially now for both the roads and the infrastructure such as the apartments, when it comes to the quality of work foreigners, for example Japanese and Chinese do, comparing it back to our local African engineers or construction companies? What are your views on that? Like the quality of work shared, is there equity when it comes to the way how these contracts are given, and what are the limiting factors at some point that may not allow our East African contractors to take on such huge projects?
Thank you. I can say that since the coming of the Chinese contractors, we've had a paradigm shift when it comes to the quality of work that is expected. In my view, I find the quality of work by the Chinese way high, way above our own. That does not mean that the locals don't do a good job. They do a good job, but I cannot compare it to what the Chinese are delivering. Our Kenyan engineers are highly trained. They have the requisite skills that are needed to put up such kind of facilities, but they have not been able to deliver good work because of a few challenges that maybe they have been going through, especially when it comes to financing the projects. Because you see, to pull off projects of this magnitude, you need serious and strong financial backing to be able to invest in equipments that are required to do this kind of project. So you find maybe our local contractors, they lack that. And that's why you find most Chinese contractors are coming in and then occupying those spaces. So I can say yes, the quality of work by the Chinese is good.
It's quite good.
It's quite good, yes.
Oh, okay. Do you feel like there is shared equity when it comes to the opportunities, regardless of the fact that that is there? Do you think that there is equity when it comes to opportunities in getting these contracts, eh, by the Chinese and the local contractors?
Yeah,
Or it is just because the other ones have more investments, so meaning they'll take more? Eh?
okay. I think they are not sharing equally, but I can say there is an equity, because equity is I give you what you can deliver. Yeah, I can say they have been sharing equally, no, but there have been an equity, because, for example, the government wants a good job to be done, and maybe a local contractor is bidding for this work, but the government knows very well that maybe they have no capacity to deliver. So what they do is to give only a part of the work that they know they can deliver, but a huge chunk of the work is done by the Chinese, and also under the supervision of the Chinese. Yes, so I can say there's always been equity. Then another thing is you find most of this job that can be done by Kenyans are always done by the locals. For example, works that are related to, like, for example, work such as maybe someone to fix, maybe to do electrical work, or maybe carpentry, or maybe welding and so on, or steel fixing and so on. You find most of those jobs are done by the locals. So the Chinese engineers only come to offer the expertise. Yeah, but we also have jobs that which are done by the locals.
Okay.
Yes.
So then about that, I also had an interaction recently while we were moving through a particular neighborhood, and I got to know that some of the shabby work that was done, was those contracts belong to actually our Kenyan East African contractors. Do you feel like such showcasing such shabby work also has contributed to them not being in position to win, such contracts or such grants to establish such buildings? Or there is another factor, maybe they are using materials that are of substandard, or maybe it is just laziness and not devotion to work, and maybe advise accordingly.
Absolutely true. The history has it that the works that have been handled by the local contractors has not been up to the standard. That's why the Kenyan government always resort to seek maybe refuge or help of the Chinese contractors, because you find maybe if they are not mega projects, even just small projects, you find there are a lot of shortcuts which are involved. People go for substandard materials. They use substandard materials to
just save more,
to be able to maybe be able to save more and so on. Yeah, so that has always been. So you find maybe a road that is supposed to take like 10 years before the first renovation, it gets dilapidated in maybe 1 or 2 years. So it finds maybe such kind of a scenario, the government has to allocate some more funds for the same project. So it finds it's usually very costly. Yeah, and that's why the government has always been keen in outsourcing the services of Chinese contractors, especially when the project of big project or of high magnitude are involved. Yeah.
As solution-based thinkers, how do you think we can help our people improve when it comes to this part? Is it something that we can motivate them? Is it something that it is literally going to stay like that for time and time, or it needs to go back to the classroom where these people are trained from, to know the ethics of work, to really understand devotion, to know the importance of doing quality work, such things?
Okay, thank you. Yes, as I said before, I would not maybe say that they don't have our local contractors or engineers or architects do not have the requisite skills. Actually, they are equally trained, just like the Chinese are trained. But as I said, when it comes to maybe the capacity to deliver is where maybe the line cuts So usually these guys, our local contractors usually face a very, very serious challenge when it comes to now financing for the projects.
But a little bit, there is financing these projects, but there is intentionally doing shabby work when they literally have everything. They literally have everything. They have been funded with double the money to make sure that this project comes to the excellent mark it is expected. But I just feel like there is a gap. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't know if it's our mentality as Africans. And how best can we literally go about that? Because over time, regardless of the fact that they have everything, they will always bail themselves in the loophole.
Yeah, it's true. That is it's a problem that is there because of you find most of the local contractors usually want to use shortcuts. Then maybe if they do that, they think they'll be able to maybe save more.
And selfishness, and
then such kind of things,
entitlement,
so that really is unethical, and let's say is a demonstration of it's a high demonstration of unprofessionalism. It's not supposed to be done like that, because for someone who is a professional, if you are bidding for projects of high magnitude, then it's always good to, you have your plans, how you're going to fund this project and how you're going to deliver this project according to the demands of your client. So that is what it's supposed to be, but it is very unfortunate to be able to involve yourself in underhand dealings and also corruption, and be able maybe to save more from the project.
Okay, so the other question I want to ask you about, by the way guys, in case you have any questions too, please don't hesitate, leave them in the comment section below. We would be more than happy to be able to reply them with time. The other question I want to ask you, it's all about how do you think these two projects, not even two projects, but all this transformation over time, the high end, the high risen buildings, the roads, the presence of all these organizations, especially international organizations, have impacted the local Kenyan, like that person who everything starts from, taxpayer. How do we feel, or how do you feel like the presence of all this has actually impacted these people selling things by the streets, these people walking by the streets, these people living in these neighborhoods and the whole of the country?
Thank you, Tanya. Yeah, it's true. This kind of projects which are taking place around the country, spearheaded or being conducted by the foreign contractors, has played a very big role in the economy of the country as a whole. For instance, you find most of these projects are being done you find most locals are being employed by the Chinese or the Japanese. So you find, for example, maybe and skilled laborers also come in to find maybe source of employment. We also have skilled laborers here, and local experts also come here and get those jobs. Then also these companies pay huge amount of money in terms of taxes to the government of Kenya. They file returns which amounts to millions and millions of Kenyan shillings. So they are really contributing immensely to the growth of the economy of Kenya. Then again, it has also tried to close the gap, because before this, there used to be a huge gap when it comes to housing. Because when it comes to, we used to have that gap when it comes to the housing. The demand of the housing is high, but you find maybe we did not have the adequate houses, especially in Nairobi, for be able to cater for the 7 million population of Nairobians. So you find that has really closed that gap. And you find right now, yes, we've not gotten to where we are supposed to be, but at least it's meeting the demand, the housing demand, which has always been lacking behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that said, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to subscribe to the channel. More vlogs are coming. But with that said, I feel like we have been able to exhaust some of these things, unless if you have any other addition when it comes to the questions I had. We may cut this out.
All right.
But in case you have any addition,
okay,
you can just go in and give it to us.
Okay. Thank you, Tanya. I just wanted to give up my closing remarks. Especially the challenges that the local contractors, if not just in Kenya alone, but you find this transcends almost all parts of Africa. You find right now most African countries, many African countries, are going to China to get loans to fund the projects. If you look at Africa, like 20 years ago, then compared to now, you find this huge improvement when it comes to infrastructure development. And we want to give credit to the Chinese government. Yes, these loans maybe come with high interest, they attract very high interest, but at least Africa is not where it was 20 years ago, courtesy of the Chinese government. Now, another thing, maybe there are countries maybe have not been able to utilize these funds properly, and maybe these funds get into wrong projects that really do not have positive impact to the economy, and they end up maybe struggling so much to repay these loans. And there are quite a number of countries in Africa that have been put on red alert because of overborrowing or not being able to service their loans. So there are quite a number of also cases where maybe some of the countries have lost their assets to be able to service these loans, which is very unfortunate. Now, the good thing is there are quite a number of financing models that other countries are using, and I can see it is working. For example, you see the Kenyan government, it got a point it had hit its debt ceiling, and the IMF and the World Bank could not advise the Kenyan government not to borrow anymore, and focus mostly on using domestic revenue for what is called for the recurrent expenditures and also for the development. But it got a point, if you looked at the kind of loan we had taken, not just from the Chinese, but even both internal loans and external loans, it got a point it was very hard for the government to do development, because you find for Kenyan government, maybe for example, collects a 2.4 trillion Kenyan shilling in revenue, but you have a recurrent expenditure of close to 1.1, leaving you with about 1.4 trillion for development and recurrent expenditure. So you find when you service the loan, you spend some amount of percentage of the revenue on recurrent expenditure and also for development. Maybe you're left with very little to be able maybe to save in the national reserves. It becomes very hard. So what the government, what I'm seeing other government, including the government of Kenya, is doing is to come up with a PPP model, which is also a financing model, where maybe instead of going for a loan, which will attract very high interest, is to look for investors to come and invest in those projects using their own resources, and then use another way or means on how they can recoup their investments. Then later on, after maybe years, maybe 20 or 30 years, then now the investment now is reverted back to the national government. So I've seen it's working well here in Kenya. For example, there are quite a number of roads which have been earmarked for financing using the PPP model, where the investors will come in, investors who are foreign and also locals. Okay, they come in, they put their money in a pool, and then they finance the project. then let's say for example if it's a road, then the investor will now maybe maintain and operate the road for a couple for quite a number of years. Yeah, then recoup the investment. Once they recoup, then the road now is reverted back to the government. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just think maybe other African countries could borrow, because sometimes it's very hard, because most countries in Africa, they are really struggling. Because it is either maybe you need to raise tax in order to collect more revenue. At the same time, you also want to feel the pinch of the people who are largely unemployed. So most of these guys cannot raise taxes, so they resort to borrowing loans with high interest, which is also not a solution. So I would maybe it would be good to maybe have a PPP model, go out there and get an investor to invest in road construction, because road comes with a lot of things. It's not just creating jobs, expansion of, changes the whole spectrum of the economy. It comes with a lot of things. So it's always good for, to governments to invest more in infrastructure. Yes, thank you.
So with that said, guys, thank you very much, Gabriel, for the well-explained points. Let us know, guys, in the comments below what you think of this conversation. And yeah, Gabriel, anything?
Thank you so much. I would just want to thank my viewers. This is a maiden video. It is the first, if not the second, that I'm uploading, but this is the first official video that I've released. So as I said, you expect more of these videos talking about the infrastructure in Africa, the lifestyle of African people, the development that is taking place across Africa, because that forms the basis of why I named this channel the Turning Point of Africa. Because the turning point is where now the Africa is evolving. The African chapter is being written again, from underdeveloped to a developing. Yeah, so I just want to thank them. Please share, subscribe, share, comment, leave a positive comment, because that will mean a lot to us. So thank you, viewers. Expect more videos. We request for your support as we go forward. Thank you so much.